Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr., and I was born July 4th of 1986. Today I want to speak a little bit about something that I think is really, really fascinating. That's the idea and the concept of, have you ever ran into a situation where you gave someone some advice? You gave someone some like some danger radar. You see them hanging out with somebody and you're like, you shouldn't be hanging out with that person. And then they're just like, they say to you, I'm fine. I got it all under control. I know exactly what I'm doing. Then a couple months later, a couple years later, maybe even 10 years later, something comes back to you and you come back to that situation, that scenario, and you find out that what you thought that person should stay away from, they really should have stayed away from, because now they're way worse off than they were at the beginning. Where it's not a pleasant thing to have to say to somebody, I told you so. But don't you ever wonder why didn't they listen to you? But doesn't that ever happen to you as well? So I know this has happened to my own self, that someone has said that to me and I ignored it. So what is it that has to happen for us as people to actually be able to understand and be able to listen to someone's advice and be able to take it to just understanding that they're looking to help you and not trying to hurt you? Because in reality, most of that advice that we hear, it's you think that someone else is trying to like they're jealous of you or something, like they're envious of you. So that's why they're trying to tell you to stay away and don't do that and get out of that, because that's going to hurt you, that's going to harm you. As opposed to it actually is going to hurt you and actually is going to harm you because they can see that danger. What has to happen for us to really just look at the situation and just believe it, so that we can not have to go through that problem, not have to be in the I told you so situation, that we just move forward and just say, okay, you could substantially fast track your life by living a life like that, by listening to what someone had to say. And the main thing is, I'm going to say it's an interesting stuff because you question it sometimes when it's like your family. When it's your close family, you kind of got it in you that I don't want to really listen to them, but some random outsider, you listen to them. And that's why it's a very fascinating thing for me to be able to read the Bible, because that's the way that I see it. It's not so much as the storyline that's in it is my direct family. It's a way outsider. The book of Genesis is a very, very interesting book. It's a book of a lot of stories, a lot of chaos, a lot of good times, and a lot of just family issues and family drama. Like, it's filled with family drama, just to let us know and realize that family drama it's there, and it's always going to be there, and it's complicated, and it's very, very complicated. And brothers are always fighting, sisters are fighting, husbands and wives is having issues, and it's just stuff like that that's always going on. But it's fascinating because it's a book of stories to be able to give us advice on where it is and what it is that we should be doing, knowing that there's going to be issues. So what is it that we do with these issues now? Knowing that there's going to be struggles. How are we going to be able to get through these struggles? Realizing that it's going to happen, it's going to come. So for me, it's the Bible is in a way written in a way that it's like that outsider that is looking in. That outsider can see, hey, Johnny, get over here. Get down. Get down. It's the outsider that can see what it is that's going on in your life, that's able to actually be able to give you that, say, advice that you need to be able to move forward, as opposed to that real close relative to you that you really don't want to listen to. I don't know what it is, but Jesus says it as well in the text of understanding that you got to move away. You try to stay around your family too close and too much that they don't really believe you, because they grew up with you and saw you a way that they're not really they don't understand you. That you got to move away from that. And there's something that is just powerful about that I definitely do know. The more and more that you're trying to better your life, the more that you're actually making it worse and worse, because you're not saying you're listening to the wrong people, but you just don't trust those people, and they could be giving you the best of things that they know is possible for you, but you don't want to listen to them. So it's in a way that your parent has to say it to one of your friends, so that one of your friends can say it to some teacher or guidance counselor or some situation, so that person can come to say something to you to be able to get you to move. Because if that parent just came directly to you, you just don't listen to it. If your brother or sister came directly to you, you just don't listen to it. So it's like they got to say something to someone, then someone's got to say something to someone, and then someone's got to come back and bring it to you. And it's interesting to me because that's how the Bible's written for us in a way, to really be able to understand it. That it's not my mom or dad, it's not my brother or my sister. It's not any of that that's trying to help me out and guide me and tell me what it is I need to do. That it's a complete outside source that's way out there, that's so far away, that it really, really cares about me. But it's not that we're all done. It's not that we are together. And he sought, I could say God saw me grow up, but in a way that wasn't so I could just hang out with him and be very intimate and very close to him. It's in a way that is way out there. and he's able to bring stories and bring situations to me. Sorry, that's a Johnny down. It's a way to be able to bring stories and bring stuff to me so that I would be able to listen to without it seeming as if someone is trying to attack me. Because sometimes, at first, I guess I could say that a little bit. When I would read some stories and read some things, I felt like, why are you talking about me? Then I realized the beauty about that and the reasonings behind that is so that somebody that's already been through the things that you've gone through can be able to explain to you like what it is they did it. You're in the middle of whatever you got going on. You got some marital issues going on right now, and you can read a story of what's a good one? Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. You can read a story of all three of them and the issues that they had and the problems that they had, and you're in the middle of it. You're in the middle of it where you're like, I'm trying to get pregnant and I can't get it. And you can read stories and trials of people that are going through that and what was going on with that and how they're able to get through it. And what happened in the end with it. And what happened when you try to just be too pushy and you try to like do some extra outside stuff to try to make things happen. Like there's stories about this, every scenario that I'm going to say that's going on in this world right now that you're having issues with. There's stories about that in that Bible. And it's cool because it's like a story of say a distant relative that they're not close enough to you that you're really like, you don't trust them and believe them. And they're far enough away that you could see what's going on over there to say, I don't want to go that route. Especially if it's like, say, you're a 10-year-old person in their 30s. So by the time you're 30, they're, 50. So they're already in their 50s and you're in your 30s. And they've already lived where it is that you're at. And you're able to come out here and be able to listen to what they have to say. Because you can already seen what they've done. You knew the stories growing up as a kid. You're like, I knew they were going through this problem. I know they were struggling with this. So now I want to ask them some questions to figure out how to be able to get through this. So I don't do the same stuff. Especially if you're a wise enough person to see that you're struggling, to see that you're hurting, to see that you're headed in that same direction, to say, hey, I gotta stop. Because I already saw this or heard about stories like this from someone else. So what is it that I need to do now differently to be able to get myself out of it? And a lot of times, the best way to really get the best information is to listen to people that have already went to the end point disaster of where it is that you could see yourself being headed or what you're already in. People that have already been to that point. Not people that close to it, not people that are this is an interesting thing. But not many of us learn from people that have never been through what it is that we've done. That you want to talk to somebody about divorce, you can't talk to someone that's been married for 40 years. They don't understand it. They don't get it. They're just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. You can't really get advice from them. You can get advice from that person that's gotten divorced like 8 times. They've got a lot of stories to be able to tell you, be able to share with you, be able to say, hey, you know what? I messed up on this one, I messed up on this one. And they're not getting into that next marriage thinking it's going to fail. No, they're getting in thinking I'm going to do something different this time to make it better. And they can explain exactly what happened, or where they went wrong, and where they went right, and what was going on. And then, it still failed. And then the next, and then, it still failed. You're going to get so much information from a person that has already been in that, as the people that have never been through those situations. That's why it's a fascinating thing. Something I was listening to earlier about, a preacher man talking about being able to help people out with drinking and drugs and things like that. And he's like, in reality, I can't help you. I don't know nothing about that. He said, I've never drank in my life. I've never done a drug in my life. I've never struggled with it in my life. I've never even seen a family member struggle with it in my life. So how is it that I'm going to be able to help out somebody with that when I can't relate in any way? I don't understand what it's like to have those withdrawals, to have that pull, to have that fiend, to have that just desire to want it. I've never been a part of that. I don't know anything about it. So he's like, I really can't help anybody in that situation because I'm not going to be able to relate in any sort of way of being able to have the understanding of what you're actually struggling with. And that's where I get, and I'm going to say, is a fantastic thing because that's where the Bible is amazing because it's got stories of all this stuff in it so that we can be able to read about some people that have gone through it, and that have been struggling with it, and then been able to get past it and be able to get through it and be able to figure out how were they able to get through it. What is it that they did? And one thing that I'm going to say up front is a good way to be able to get through a lot of sticky situations that are going on in your life is to call upon the name of Jesus and ask Jesus for some assistance in your life and trust in him and believe in him and put some faith into him and watch what's going to start happening to you. That a lot of people are having issues. Old Testament, there's a lot of drama in that book. It is one way I can say is a very, very fascinating read in reality to read because you get to see and understand the drama. And when you read it a few times, you like living in the drama. It's like a soap opera show that you're just hearing drama. You're just like, wow, they really did that. That really went down. They really did that to them. It's a very interesting situation. But when you get down to the New Testament, it kind of changes up a little bit. Not that it does. It's exactly what I can say. It kind of changes up a little bit. That now we have a different way, and the best way of saying it is the easier way. An easier way to be able to have our problems and our issues and our situations be able to get not just managed, but figure out how to be able to get them solved. Because there's things in this planet that we can do to completely change our lives. And that's one thing that I think is absolutely fantastic about our lives out here is we have the opportunity to do as we want to do. That we're not just a robot that's just, this is what's going to happen regardless. This is what you're going to be like regardless. Like, because I just look at my life and I just say that's definitely not the case. Because me being a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old, even a 30-year-old guy, you would never think that I'd be sitting on a rain barrel in front of some baby chicks that they getting big fast. I don't know if you watch these see they fast growing up. Sitting out with all these dogs, listening to my roosters yell, impressed with what roosters' capabilities are and what they're all about. When I just sit and actually watch what they're all about and just see my cow sitting right here or standing right here, just drinking out of this water. I would have never guessed that I did a complete change away from anything that was projected of me to be and be about. And that's something that we all can be able to have the opportunity to be able to do. That we're not just predestined to, this is what I do. That I literally woke up one day and said, I don't want to do any of that. I'm going over here. Like complete difference. And my complete difference that I'm going to be into next is another. I'm already thinking about where it is. I'm done with a lot of things that I think and I kind of have in my brain that I need. I'm kind of just done with all of it. With a whole lot of it. Maybe not all of it. But all of it at one point one day. But soon enough. But we have the capabilities to be able to change, where you could say, I don't like where I'm headed. I don't like what's going on. I don't like the way this is. You know what? I want to go do that instead. And just jump into it and just get in it. It's such an interesting thing about us. And since we could do such a thing like that, we have the chance to be able to really change the trajectory of our life, of what it is that we thought we want to be able to do. And that means that you can change any scenario and any situation that's going on with you. If you're in something where you're just like, I can't stand this anymore. Something that I just said with my own self when I was smoking some drugs. I said smoking some drugs. People don't call it drugs. Everyone I talk to don't call no weed, no marijuana drugs, but it is. It's something that slows you down, that hinders you from being able to be the best of the best. It helped me at first, but then it turned into an absolute crutch. And I just got to the point one day that I just got mad at myself. I looked at my own self and I was mad at myself and said, I can't stand myself looking like this. I can't stand myself smelling like this. I can't stand myself needing this and just always desiring this. I can't stand that I can't go an hour without just having this, I need. I just couldn't, I just started to, the best way to say this, hate myself because I was just in this and I was just constantly doing it. I just hated myself. And I was just disgusted with myself. I would see another one and I would see a little butt of it, a little end of it, a little roach of it. And I just couldn't stand the smell of it. I would come home and smell it. I just couldn't stand it. And it just made me mad. And then one day I just had to make Johnny, get down. And then one day I just had to make a decision to, hey, Johnny, get down. I don't tell y'all to down for like 3 days and y'all think y'all could just do what y'all do. I feel you. You need a little more discipline in you. We working on that. I'm working on that with myself. We're going, get down. We're going to work on that with you some more. You's a good boy. But taking you in a dog that who knows how old is and bring it into your home and start working it is way different than a puppy. I challenge every single dog trainer out there. I don't care what your puppy looks like and how you train him. I want to see you take a dog that's just savage in the kennels, that's just biting people, barking at people, biting, killing other dogs, and you take that dog and turn that dog into something different. That's training an animal. That's having more experience of training like wild farm, training chickens, training cows, training donkeys. You're taking an animal that doesn't have zero rapport with you, actually even hates you and doesn't really like you, and you got to transform it into something different. That's the whole concept of everything I'm even talking about right here, right now. Hey, Johnny, get down. The whole concept of everything I'm saying about right now. Johnny, get down. I want to get firm with that conversation with you. Thank you. That's the whole conversation of what I'm saying, that we could change and be able to get in to do something different. We could change and be about something different. We could change and be able to have something different, that we don't have to do the same stuff. And the big thing is we want to be able to have that change and be able to trust that change when someone else is bringing that change to us. And that's where an amazing thing of Jesus comes in, that he gives us a chance to change into being something different. He's that distant relative that's out there that can see you. He's lived a life. He's explained about other people's lives. He explained about the whole creation of the world to us. He's given us all this insight that we could be able to read and be able to understand and be able to just really, really live in it. Like you're living in the moment when you're reading some of this stuff. You're just like, you think that you're in that family when you're reading a lot of it. And it gives us insight of where it is that you should be going and where it is that you should stay away from. There's so many people out here that think that this is the way and this is how you're supposed to do it. And in reality, that's maybe the way for them. But there's different ways for all of us out here to go and do. We all don't do the same stuff. We all aren't out here having 18 wives and thinking that's going to be all right. We're not all out here having 50 kids and thinking that's just cool. There's some people that just don't have that. They got one kid, they got two kids. But the main thing is they really, really cherish what it is they have. And it's a difference of a variety of pretty much everywhere that we go out here. We're all not going to be on that same path. And that's where our distant relative of God that's inside of us is going to be able to communicate to us. He's going to communicate everything to us to be able to get us onto that right path. That path of being able to succeed instead of just keep on stumbling and fumbling. That path to be able to get you out of and realize that you're in danger. That's why the book of Proverbs is a very, very interesting book. It's to help you stay away from that danger. It's the relative that's saying to you, hey, watch out for this, because this right here is going to set you up for absolute struggle. Watch out for that, because if you go that route and you hang out with that and you hang out with these people, you're gonna be in a situation where you're always gonna have like police around you for one. You're always gonna be in a prison system. Stay away from girls and guys like this, because they're only gonna slow you down and hinder you. They're not gonna allow you to grow. It's such an interesting book of being able to have that understanding of where it is that we should go, without it being your actual mom or dad or your brother or sister that in reality can see you and they understand you and they know you, but we don't listen to their advice. So like I said, again, they got to go to the outside. And that's where like a book of Proverbs comes from. It's the things that your daddy has been saying to you, because he's lived some. He's been around this world some. And then same thing with your grandpa. He's lived some more and he's been around some more. And if you've never had either of those in your life, that's where the Bible for sure is an absolutely amazing tool. And it's an amazing tool to be able to line you up and link you up with someone like that role so that they can be able to give you that information. So no one on this planet can say, oh, I didn't have a dad, so I didn't know. I didn't have a grandpa, so I didn't know. I didn't have a great grandpa, so I didn't know. I didn't have a grandma, so I don't know. I didn't have a mom, so I don't know. No one can say that, because we have the Bible. The Bible is able to teach us everything that we're looking for and that we need to be doing. And it comes in all different seasons. There's a different time in your life that you're reading it in one way, and it gives you the information that you need. There's another time that you read it and you get another way. You just keep getting it another way, and more better in your future when you keep on reading it more and more. It's the information out there for us to be able to be able to have that success. And also at the same time, it's a way to be able to help correct us when we're not going in the right direction without someone saying, I told you so. That's some hard words, some very hard words to hear. And it's some hard words for you to have inside of you when you see someone that's doing something that you're just like, man, you shouldn't be doing that, because I already know where you're going. Even that person, they don't see the future yet. They just see the right here, right now. And they're just going. But you can see the future, because maybe you've been a part of it. But maybe you saw someone else that was into that, and you're just watching them go in those same steps. And you don't want to look at that person like, man, I told you so. And that's an amazing thing, because that's not what God's going to do to us. He's not going to say to us, I told you so. He's going to help us and guide us. He's going to push us to be able to get into a better place. He's going to make sure that we're constantly keeping on growing to being able to get better. And he's not going to, I told you so, and you're stupid, and you're silly, and you're worthless, and you're pathetic. No, he's not going to say any of that to us. He's very, very patient, very, very kind, very, very loving. And loving in a way that you may not appreciate correction and direction that comes to you sometimes. But it just absolutely has to happen. It has to happen. And hey, Johnny, you being, I got you, homie. You know what I got on me every day, all day. Come here. You know what I got on me every day, all day. Get down. Get down. Just like right now, he may not like it that I'm telling him what to do and what not to do, because I've been allowing him to be able to run free the past few days. So he got it in his brain of I could do whatever I want. So for me personally, that just lets me know that I got a little more work to do with this dog than I thought that I did. I thought he was good to go. I thought things were fine. I thought things were smooth. I thought that I was on the right path. But then I get to a situation right here, right now, that I realize like I'm not as far along as I thought I was. And I got a lot more to be able to go. And for me personally, it's an interesting thing, something that I understand about animals. It's an all-day, everyday situation to keep on working on. The same way that I understand us as human beings, that there's something that we're always constantly continuing to keep working on over and over and over every single day. You're never at that point that's just, aha, here we are, we're done, we're good to go, everything looks great. We're always working at something. And we're always working at something to be able to make sure that we can have a better, easier access to this life. not in a way to try to damage you more, not in a way to try to hurt you more. But sometimes that correction has to come in to say, hey, you're going off course and this is where I need you to go. That's what just happened with this dude. Yeah, he got a little correction. His correction is put a leash on him. I don't know what it is with my dogs, but I put leashes on my dogs and they're just like, dude, yes, sir, what you need. It's super easy to work with them. But it didn't start that way, but it's that way today because of how we built everything up. And that's what the understanding that I want is the same way with how God works with me. I don't want to have to go to no challenges and no this and no that and no timeouts and no ruthless stuff anymore. You just guide me to get me right back in. He gives me that right information to say, dude, you're off track. And I can read a proverb, Proverb 4. I'm not 100% sure what that one is, but I kind of got an idea, but I ain't even gonna speak of it. But I could just read that to just, okay, I am off track. Let me get back on track over here. Let me go the direction that I know I need to be going. And then I could just continue to keep on moving. That there's many things like that in that Bible that are very, very interesting for us to be able to learn a lot from, so that we can have that I told you so's without it being so harsh and so ruthless and and losing people's trust because someone has to say that to you to help guide you to be able to get in a better place. And also when you're just not sure of what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Where should I be going? What is right? What is wrong? What is something that is, say, acceptable? Like someone could say is lying. Is that wrong? Is that okay? Or yes, it's wrong. But there are certain times that you better do that so that you don't run into a situation that is gonna not be so great for you. And there's stories like that in the Bible that really let us know the differences of when something, say, is maybe not 100% acceptable, but more acceptable for the greater good of everything, as opposed to it being something that we should never, not ever do again. We should never do. We should just not be about. There's certain things that we should not be about. And if you do it, you lose all respect, you lose all responsibility, you lose everything because of what it is that you did. And it's fascinating because I'm telling you, that book, that Bible is going to be able to teach you a lot. Just the book of Genesis alone is going to teach you a lot when you just read it and really understand it and really just see what's going on here. See how the families are working together and what's happening. See how the outside people are treating the families, how the families are treating the outside, how everything is going on here with that, to get a good understanding of where it is that we should be going and what is it that we should be focusing our time on and what is it that we should be caring about the most and what should we just let go and not care about anymore. There's certain things that are really talked a lot about and others that just aren't. Something that's not talked a lot about that we talk a lot about today is food. We talk about food so much today. I mean, I used to watch a lot of food shows myself because it's just, in a way, it's a way to pass time is in reality what it is. But we have so much about food. Food's everywhere. Food everywhere. I can't drive. I live almost in the middle of nowhere. It's getting busy now. But I can't go an hour without finding an overabundance of food everywhere. We got so much food. But you know what they don't talk a lot about in the Bible? Food. They don't talk a lot about preparing it. They don't talk a lot about eating it. They don't talk a lot about none of that. So that must not be something that is very, very important that we should always be talking about all the time. They don't talk about clothes. They're not talking about what they're wearing and how they're wearing it and what kind of jewelry they have, what their hairstyle is and what their hair looks like and what kind of makeup they got on and what kind of perfumes they got on. They don't talk about none of it, not none, but they don't talk about it too often at all. So something about that maybe we shouldn't be worried about that. We shouldn't be focusing our time on that. Maybe we shouldn't really even care about that. And maybe we need to care about other things that the book actually is talking about. And there's just so much in there that is just very, very interesting for us to be able to understand. And it's for us to understand in a way that it's an outsider looking into your life that can say to you and explain to you what's going on and how to be able to get through some stuff and how to be able to transition and change from what it is that you're doing to get into something that's going to be able to make you having a more enjoyable life. That's pretty much what I'm going to stamp on to say what majority of people on this planet want is a better life. You want a better life. People come to the United States of America not to get worse off and get hurt, get enslaved, get destroyed. No, they come to America to get a better life for the hope and the chance. And they have the belief that they're going to get a better life. And that belief of getting a better life usually gives you a better life because you're on that mission to, that's what you want. And if the more and more that's what you're desiring is I want a better life. I don't want better food. I don't want better clothes. I don't want a better house. I don't want a better car. I want a better life. I want a better experience. I want more freedom with my life. I want more peace with what's going on with me. I'm going to say that majority of people on this planet, that's what we're looking for. And if that's what we're looking for, that's a reason for me to say to you even more, to get closer and closer to understanding who Jesus is. Get closer and closer to understanding what your Bible is all about. Get closer and closer to that, because that's going to be able to give you that. And it's going to be able to bring you what it is that you're looking for. And with that, man, I just want to say thank you for a very interesting day today and a very interesting week. a difference of a week that is just fantastic. Again, this is what I'm going to say. Challenging, a little aggravating, a little irritating, because I got some work with me that is pushing me, is really pushing me, and it's super exciting, and it's a change for me to be able to really just see who I am and what I'm all about in reality. Because a lot of times we're out here doing what we're doing, thinking that I'm good to go and I got it all figured out, and realize no, you don't. And even right here, right now, on the middle of this camera, I got this dog here that I'm thinking that things are good to go, and I'm clearly seeing, no, I'm not. I got issues. I got stuff to work on. I got things to pay a little more close attention to, and stop just putting it in the background thinking that it's good enough and it's good to go. That I got some stuff to do. Because for me, I'm a different type of animal worker. I don't really use too much equipment and too much tools for my stuff. Because I got the time, I got an unlimited amount of time and resource to be able to work with them, to be able to do what I need to do. So it's for me to be able to figure out how to be able to do such a thing, because it's a learning lesson for me to be able to help out more people in a way that it's just going to make people's lives much simpler. And for me, it's cool to be able to see where things aren't that great. It's cool to be able to get put back into what it is that I need to focus more of my time on, and realize that I got to focus it on. I can't just ignore it. I can't just put it away. Because if I ignore it and I put it away, that's when things are just going to keep on getting harder and harder for me. And that's something that I don't know what it is, but I read something this morning that really got in my brain from that Bible that was just like, you think you're good and smooth and sailing, but there's still a lot that I got to keep working on and keep going towards. And there's not a time for me to just sit back and just, everything's fine. No, let's keep going. Let's get moving. And then I'm going to be able to get more of that peace that I want, more of the freedom, more of the joy, more of the relaxation, more of the comfort that I'm looking for. This is a fantastic life. And if you're a person that's sitting thinking, I don't know what to do, and I don't know who I am, and I don't know any of that, I'm telling you, Jesus is going to be able to help you out with that, because he's been able to help me out in such an absolutely amazing way. Absolutely amazing way. Thank you.